G'day guys, welcome in to this week's video. Today I'm going to bring you my max effort work for the week. So hopefully a little bit shorter and sharper with the video this week. Just showing you the top sets or working up to each top set from each exercise that I did for max effort. So as some of you might know, I split my training into dynamic and max effort, posterior and anterior. So working on a modified conjugate method where 2 days a week I go heavy and try and lift maximum weights, and the other 2 days of the week I try and go a little bit lighter and work for speed. Given my current situation and my current goals, I've split it up into anterior and posterior as opposed to the traditional upper and lower body split. What this allows me to do is get in 2 max effort movements each day that I'm doing max effort here. The first one you can see is a front squat. I'm building up to a top set of 5. This isn't so much max effort, this is more a linear progression just because of the injury in my knee. So as you can see here, I'm hitting a set of 50 kilos for 5. I'm really trying to get depth here. That's just going to come with time as the knee slowly gets better. And then the most weight I've squatted to date with 60 kilos on the front squat. The reason I'm doing a front squat is to try and force myself to stay more upright. As you can see, I really want to lean forward and hinge into the squat to try and take the pressure off my knees, but I want to keep it on them to make that quad tendon a lot stronger so I can come back from my injury faster. Moderately painful, but nothing too bad, nothing to worry about there. So a nice set there. I moved on then to my true max effort movement of the day, which was Viking press. So I'm using the overhead press as my max effort for the day here. I'm building up in triples to a top triple for the day. So in my previous weeks, I've done up to a top double in a variation of the log, up to a top single in a variation of the axle. So this week is week 3 of the program, and it's up to a top triple in a variation of the Viking press. So you can see me working here. This is 95 kilos on the Viking. It's pretty heavy for me at this point. I go up with one more jump to try and find a heavier weight where I get 102.5, I believe it is, on the bar, and I only get the 1 rep there. So I drop back down and hit some volume here. This is an AMRAP set. I believe the weight on the bar is about 75 kilos or something like that. I'll put all the weights in the actual video description here for you. And I get 15 reps on an AMRAP. So this is an all-out set. This is how I volumize my max effort work, is whatever I take for my top set of the day, I typically come back down for an AMRAP or some volume sets, just so I can get a little bit more work in. That's one of the main criticisms of the conjugate method, is that there's no work volume on the main lifts in these lower ranges. This is how I kind of combat that. Moving on here, I'm moving on to a deadlift. So this is my max effort posterior day. I'm doing a block pull here, so off really low blocks. I didn't know what I was going for here, but it was a max single. So I went up and I pulled 220 kilos. So a very big top set here. You can see a big shit-eating grin on my face pop up there. And then as I did with my last max effort movement, I backed down and I did a little bit of volume here, a set of 6. These are all stiff leg, obviously, just because of my injury. So the way my knee is right now, I'm not going to put too much load through that quad tendon. So trying to keep these all in the posterior chain. Good bit of volume here. Wicked hammy and glute pump after this. So it was great to get back over that 200 kilos post-injury. Finally, we moved on to some pull-ups. So this is my second max effort movement of the posterior day. I feel like this is a bit of a freebie. It's not really going to tax you too much, but it is super, super beneficial. So working up to a top set of 5 here, I got up to 15 kilos added weight. Then what I did was immediately removed the weights and went straight into an AMRAP drop set. Typically I would have the fat grips on for that. I forgot those today, but this was a tough enough variation for me because I actually had my hands supinated. So I do change this grip every single week to add a little bit of a different stimulus. But this week's grip variation was the hands slightly supinated, which put a lot of stress on the biceps, a lot of stress on the lats right in under the armpit there. So it was a really good way to start the upper back portion of this max effort posterior workout. You see a few of the reps get a bit jumpy near the end there, but it was a good way to start that second portion of the workout. Hope you enjoyed the session, guys. Hope there's a few things you can implement. Stay strong, and I'll catch you next time.